Welcome to day 2 of Anne's summer look. We've got brand new things. Now at Hot Off the Press, we were looking at all of the fun kind of movable parts types of cards, but we wanted to make it really, really easy.
So we did with these great die-cut cards. They come in a kit with envelopes and paper patterns that you can use to put them together.
Right, and Anne has had a great time playing. Come play with us. Well, here they are, all 6 of them, and they're in packages.
Right.
And as you said, there are 5 cards and 5 envelopes.
Right. There are 6 designs, but 5 cards and 5 envelopes in each package. And we have a side step, a center step, a shutter,
and an oval
swing,
and heart swing, and a rectangular swing. Now we're going to go into each of these, but you're going to scoot those over.
Here we go.
And we just want to show you what's common about all the packages is this insert. And not only does it show you how the mechanism works, but it also gives you a finished example, which we're going to show you. Okay. And then on the other side, you talked about patterns. Well, to make it really easy to cover all of these different areas, we've got these patterns. And so that's just to help make it easy.
Right.
And then here's in this case, this is the oval swing. So see, it's swinging. And there are 5 of these, and there are 5 coordinating envelopes. Now the cards, these cards measure about 5 by 6.5.
Right.
So, okay.
Most of them are they're at least that size or a little smaller.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay.
Okay.
So should we not go into the pattern?
Yeah, we'll just show a card first. Okay, so here's the first, and Anne has done this, and
beautiful.
Isn't that pretty? Yeah. So she's used the Mirage paper, and she's used the Mirage die cuts.
Right, and in a really unique way. I love that she's got one of the tags sort of peeking off the edge of that oval. But also the papers, I love that if you use the paper patterns that come with it, then you get this nice white matted edge from your card.
And that's what the patterns will do. The patterns will allow the paper to be inset a bit from the card itself so that the card creates a mat all the way around. So that, and then as we open it, she's got another die cut on the inside.
That's great.
Why don't you bring the pattern?
Okay.
Yeah, just flip it over.
Just real briefly. So we saw the cover page for this package, and on the back we looked at the patterns. So one way to use these patterns is to copy it. And that's one of the things that we'll do here is we'll copy it a couple, maybe 3 times, because you have more than one piece to cut out, and they have overlapping pieces here. And so if I cut this out, if I print this out a few times, then I can cut them out individually. Here's one piece that's going to fit on the front, like so. And then here's the piece that's going to fit on the back. But also within these 2 pieces, you see this oval. And so
or 2 ovals.
Right, 2 ovals. So I print that out separately. And then I've got the oval, this one that fits, here it says inside right there. That one fits on the inside oval. And this gray area here fits on the outside oval, like so.
And then bring in that one side,
So also within this pattern, there's another strip that this piece fits perfectly here, but when you cut that off, that piece fits perfectly on the inside.
On the spine.
Now, they're all going to be different for each one of the die-cut cards, but that's just a way to handle it. Copy it off a few times, and then you can cut your patterns and use them over and over.
Right. So in this case, what Anne has done is used the die cuts, and I think that's a fun thing to explore. So you can see the butterfly, and you can see the tags and so forth
and the labels
that she has right there.
She's done some stamping right there on the label.
And let's get in close, because she did a fun thing on the butterfly. You can see the dazzle. She used the pink border dazzles, these right there, pink jewel border, and she did a border right down for the body.
For the body,
Very
and then
nice.
A jewel dazzle right there on the head there. That's really pretty.
She's got more on the side and right there, and a simple little bow, and that's all taken care of. So
that's what's neat about these cards. cards. You've got the basic shape, then you've got these basic paper patterns. You just kind of cut them and plunk them down, and then you start decorating with other items.
And it's fun to play with them, too.
It is.
Now, this is gorgeous, but look what she did. She turned it inside out, upside down. What did she do?
I will show you. So here's the original. Here's the die cut, the way it sits, the way you get it when it's packaged. And in that first card you saw opening like that. So now it's at the bottom. Well, you can't just turn it over this way.
Because then it doesn't open.
Right, it wouldn't open. So what you have to do is turn it over this way, lay it flat, and then where there's a mountain fold here, I'm going to turn that into a valley fold.
Okay, so just switch those folds.
Right, pop that through. Turn that into a valley fold. Here's
I thought that
valley
was
fold.
so clever.
It is. It's a great idea. And sort of press those down. You can use a bone folder to get it nice and flat. And now you have the design you're looking at here.
Very fun. Never would have thought of that when we were designing these. Now here, she has used the Honeysuckle Artful Card Kit. What's nice about that is not only the papers, but also the die cuts.
Right, and it's so easy to pop those out and decorate this. I love that she goes over the edge of the fold and even around the opening here. It doesn't get in the way of that oval flipping over. Isn't that beautiful?
Now, the other thing is that on the first card, she had 3 different papers. Here, she has not covered that center spine at all, nor has she used the oval pattern. So just great using those die cuts.
Nice, that white contrast.
Yeah.
If we can open it up one more time. It's also totally okay to cut a die cut. So she put it right on the edge of there, and then she cut the end of that die cut.
And that's
do what she wanted.
And that's the border pattern that's in it, and that's the all over pink pattern. So very fun to see that. Now, what else can you do? Well, here is something, actually Teresa did this one, and this is using the Gypsy Jewels papers and the foil paper towel, and this is also on the package, but I just think that this is gorgeous.
It is beautiful. So using the paper patterns to cut out the pieces to put here. Right. Also, I love that the stripes on the front are going vertically, and on the inside they're going horizontally.
Right, and then the paper towel is just gorgeous, and she's done some stamping there and on the inside too.
Banner. So isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
That's just beautiful.
So lots of variety, lots of things you can do. Okay, now we're moving on to the heart swing.
Heart swing. So here is the heart swing. It contains 5 of the die cut cards, just like we talked about before. Here's, I'm only going to show you the one here, but here it's got that same cutout idea, the way you saw in the oval swing, but it's a heart.
Right.
And when it opens up, it's got that center strip there. Just great.
And the patterns are similar on the back. And again, you can use the patterns, you can not use the patterns. Now in this case, as I slide this in, and did not use the pattern. She simply covered the entire area. And what she did here is really kind of fun because as I open this up, you can see that that little set of 3 vases, which came also from foil paper towel.
And they came in one piece here.
Yeah, but she has elected to divide them. And you can see on the inside here's, well, that's the 3.
That's the 3. And this part has been cut and set on the back panel.
Right. And then this is the number 2 piece that normally would have gone on top of here. And then she's done some stamping in the heart.
Right. So embossed here. I love the different patterns of paper that she used. This is from the Pretty Little Posies set.
Right.
I think she used five different patterns of paper here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 4. 4 different patterns of paper.
Right.
It's
but
just really sweet.
Everything works. So you can see how that pattern is what she used here, both for the spine and for the heart.
Right. So in this case, first she laid that center piece all the way down the center spine, and then she laid that heart on top of it. And I'm quite certain that she embossed that in Sending Happy Thoughts before she put it on there.
Right. And you can see how this overlaps also as you might on a cutaway card or anything else. But isn't that simple to do and gorgeous?
A lot of, when I'm looking at these, I keep thinking if you put something on here, it's going to get in the way when these flip over, but I just haven't seen that happen.
They don't,
You have to pay attention how far you're putting something over, but it works.
Yes. And also I want to point out that right here, this is foam taped. Now, in the instructions, you're probably just going to see a list of materials. So that you've got the gallery, you've got the finished example. So I don't want that to be frustrating for you.
They're not all that way. Some have, but there are a few that are material lists only. But some of them are they're pretty basic, and you can pretty much see what to do. I love that the corners have been chopped too with a corner chopper.
Okay, you want to see something else?
Yes.
Okay, here is one. Now, this has got the pull-apart berries in it. And this is really kind of neat to let that, again, it's extending off.
Right.
And it works because that's just what's happening as we flip it.
You were saying that it looked like a bouquet, and I thought that was really a neat idea. And it goes perfectly with the Kindred Spirits papers.
It does. It's just beautiful. Now, the berries, this is the purple set, but Anne did something with these pearls.
Right, to make them match. And these, she used here, this is a used package. We do use them here. But she used 3 millimeter and 5 millimeter pearls. So these are the 5 millimeter. And then she took the Spectrum Noir purple set. And I've got LV3. And this, I believe, is in the gallery. So you'll know what to do here. And she just colored them so that they would match those berries. It's just very simple. You can go around, and if you want, you can color a few at once or go all around them, and it just makes, if you want to get in the tight spots that I sort of miss, you can use the other end, but it makes beautiful. You can color those any color you want to match.
And she's done them in the green and the purple to match her berries. And beautifully done.
It is beautiful.
On the other side, she's got, let me show you. She's brought in the embellies, and
the Kindred Spirits embellies. And so this flower here is part of the embellies kit as well as the tag.
And so is the little label down there.
And she did stamping. I think that's just a little greeting stamp set.
So nicely done. So what's kind of fun is that you can do it as simply as you want or as elaborately as you want.
Sure.
Now, here's another. Now, the heart we can't turn upside down. So I'm sure you figured that out already. But what we have here are the Robin's Red
papers and the Dazzles, the Sweetie Pie.
This is the
Dazzles.
Sweetie Pie, and very fun because Dazzles are going to fit anywhere, as you can tell. A little bit of stamping. You are one of a kind, my kind.
I love the borders along the edge. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Yes. Very sweet.
That's beautiful.
So that's, the Sweetie Pie has that great big, it has all of them, the love, the pennant, and that border.
Right, and I also see some of the red jewel dazzles, and I thought I saw some of the button dazzles on the front as well.
Yep.
Right
okay,
there.
that must be why I have button dazzles here.
The gold pearl button dazzles, and they have been backed and foam taped on top of one another.
Right on top.
Very sweet.
So a little mix them and match them going on.
So lots of, and this is the border paper right here along this edge. So it doesn't just have to be solid papers. You can put something interesting on the side there.
And this choice was 3 different papers and then bringing in actually some others from the paper pack, the red.
But what a simple way to make something really interesting, something very different.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to go into the rectangle swing. Okay. And you have that?
The rectangle. I do have the rectangle swing.
It's over on the left.
There we go.
Okay.
There's the rectangle swing. Whoops, like that. And again, here is the cover page, which shows you an idea. And then on the back, there are the patterns. So you can think about what you want to use for your papers there. And then here is the actual mechanism of the swing. It's a similar design, but a different shape.
And voila, here it is finished. And this is fun. Now, Anne has used ribbons down here, which I think is a really clever way to go.
Isn't that cute? She did cut them right here on the edges so that it might be a little bit, if you tried to go around the corners, it might be a little difficult. So
it might. Let's go up the top and we can see this is with the die cuts. And she was really pleased that the smile has a mirror, not a mirror image, but it has a second one that matches it. And so she used it on the inside.
The shape matches, but what she did say is she had to cut the little tab off this end of this tag so that it would sit just right.
Okay, would it help if I brought that in?
One. Yeah,
there we go.
So here are the 2 tags. So this one is on the front, This one's on the inside, but that end had to be cut off to fit just perfectly. But it sure does. It fits great.
And you can see this is part of the border right there.
So there's the border that's been cut to
Very
suit.
clever. And then on the inside, another of the pieces. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And those beautiful, the bling that's been added.
Yes.
To add just a little bit of punch to it. It's just beautiful.
Now, do you think you can turn this upside down?
I think maybe.
I think maybe. Well, Anne did. Brilliant woman. And here is the reverse. And so you want to show that one more time?
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. I'm going to turn it over, so now that it's at the bottom, and then I'm going to take the mountain folds and turn them into valley folds, like so. I'm going to pop that through while I do so. And the valley folds will turn into mountain folds, and there you go.
Okay.
And that's
Voila.
what we have. Voila. Very simple.
And here's what Anne has done. Now, this time she has used more of the die cuts. This is the Robin's Red that goes with the Robin's Red paper. Again, letting that swoop in. It's fun to see them so close to each other. This is on foam tape. However, the swirl is not. It's flat because you can see that's going over.
It's nice to do that because you can get a nice shadow in there. What I like about this one is that she used the same color paper for this rectangle as she did for the background. So it sort of looks like they're together.
It does. It really does, doesn't it? And nothing in the center except for a die cut. And look that this is a shape. So she did have to cut into the die cut. We'll get in close so you can see. So just right in there.
To make sure that it didn't interfere with the mechanism of moving.
But isn't that
But what a great
just
idea.
Sweet.
More of the bling added in strategic places, a little stamping right on the die cut.
And I love that.
Very sweet.
Very nice.
Anne mentioned that she thought this would make a great housewarming card.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the last one we have, and what I'm appreciating is just the variety of looks. Now, this is with the Homeward Bound, and so it's a very vintage look. And in this case, she has used the embellies. So that's what's going on. You can see the one right there and the camera down at the bottom. Along with the large ones.
So this is part of the embellies right here, and it was foam taped on top. There's a little strip. There's a couple of different papers going on here, and a strip going down the center.
And then on the inside, a great big love with Homeward Bound and the little tag.
And in this one, it looks to me like, is it the same? It's the same print that's going all the way across the paper.
Isn't that nice? So just cut that into pieces. And again, this is going clear to the edge of the card.
It's been inked, so that's why you're not seeing the white of the card, and all of the folds have been inked. That's a really nice look.
But what's nice is that these shapes are going to be good for all kinds of looks. You're not just limited to one, because we wouldn't want that, would we? Now, our next one is called what?
The side step. Again, with 5 cards, 5 envelopes. And in the side step, along with the patterns on the back, here are the steps that we're talking about right here on the side. So it's got this unique cut on the side, so that, and all of these will stand up, by the way. And it's got these nice little steps that can be decorated.
Accordion there.
Right. Let's see what it looks like.
Same deal, patterns on the back?
Patterns on the back that you can copy and cut out.
Right. Now, here is the first one, and this is using paper towel. And notice that the paper towel is extending out over the edge, and that works so well because there's nothing to interfere with it. And this is the Good Life greetings, and you can see so many reasons to celebrate. So you're going to get some dimension, as well as the embellies coming in right here and on the steps.
And I love the way they're used, just sort of a random pairing of embellies there, with the happy actually goes off the edge there. And each one of those pattern pieces were cut and set on there. I wanted to mention that. So one of the things I appreciate about the patterns is some of the more intricate ones will have a little diagram that shows you, here's how you lay out your pattern pieces. So that's really useful.
Yeah. Now on the inside of the card, I think there are lots of options. Now she has elected to do a couple of papers on the inside, again, an embelly, but on that one she has stamped, and this is with the birthday cheer stamp. So
So you get the large
Right.
one that's embossed, but then you also get those smaller pieces that are within that stamp set. And that is so cute. That's right on one of the embellies tags. And we also wanted to point out that these are intricate enough. They've got enough going on the front that you actually don't have to decorate the inside. They're great just like that.
You could just write a message on it and save yourself some time.
They're both great.
Okay, Father's Day is right around the corner, and look at this. This is just darling.
That sort of goes pow.
It does. It absolutely does. And this is with the Rad Dad Dazzles. Got that?
Right. And the Rhapsody paper pack.
And we've got
Look at that.
dads are the original hipsters, Rad Dad, and a bicycle.
So we also have the lacy borders, or the lacy frames, cutting dies, not borders, frames. And so they've been used, paper has been backed in there, and isn't that beautiful?
Right.
It's interesting to pair lace with Rad Dad, but it works.
Who would have thought? Well, our Susan did.
Yeah, there's another one back there on that step, right?
Oh, I
back
see.
There's one of them that's been backed. And I love the embellies on the bicycle on the back step.
And
it's neat. You have all of these opportunities, all of these steps to add more things.
And yet little things. I mean, you don't have to spend an hour on the
details.
inside. Look, she decided to do that area.
Isn't that neat?
And on the inside,
And you
very
can use
fun.
the same pattern you used on the other side. You can use that to cut out a piece to fit there.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Sure.
Very fun. And again, that lacy rectangle. Yeah, lacy rectangle and Rad Dad. You heard it here, folks. Now, Anne saw something. Let's see. Let me get this out. And here is the watering can. There it is.
Oh, this is the Pretty Posies die cuts.
And she really had the idea of, well, let's take this and let's let it water some flowers.
Right.
But in order to do that, she would need to change the orientation
of your size set.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we do that?
How do we do that?
We're going to start by opening this up. Because it comes folded, you're going to lay it flat, and then you're going to change the orientation of all of those folds. So the center fold is going to go this way. So now I've got that here on the right, and then we just accordion fold these back and forth until you have those steps in the right spot.
And of course, since these are all pre-scored and folded for you, you are ready.
Right, simple, ready to go. And there you go, you have it.
So now Anne could take her idea and make it work. And so the watering can is watering into the flowers. You can see them on all three levels.
That's good. They're growing up out of the steps. That is so cute.
And of course, since they're growing, she used green down there.
Right, and she's got the little posies embellies as well in there. And there's even one holding up the watering can up at the top.
Little stamping going on. And then on the inside, she used the large one, which I think is very clever.
Right,
and
glued it in place. And what's nice is that she actually used two different pieces of paper here to it looks like sort of like a table with the
right, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, very
so
clever.
That one right there. There's that one.
Yeah.
And then the other flowers are over here.
Right there.
I think. So.
Beautifully done. Very clever. So then going back to the orientation that it had is, I'll switch you, is this card just elegant. And yet it's paper and die cuts. I mean, it's just not.
Paper die cuts, a little bit of dazzles. That always makes it more elegant.
Of course. And so you can see, I think that's kind of cute, that little bow at the top.
There. It's very cute as a step. And
Birthday
these are
wishes.
the Rhapsody paper pack and the Rhapsody die cuts.
And on the inside, that's what we have going on.
Right. We have more of the, not the embellies, but the die cuts, the Rhapsody die cuts.
Right.
Oh, I have them over here.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. So you have one of the tags here that was used on the center. So she has stamped on there, and she's got some of the, now they're not paper told, but they can certainly be used as paper told because there are a lot of the same types of flowers around here that can be easily stacked on top of each other. These are foam taped, or that one is. Mm-hmm. So
with the great big blue jewel dazzles.
This is beautiful.
Okay, now we have a center step.
Okay.
And you're going to bring that in?
I'm going to bring that in.
I'll take this card.
So here is the center step with this great idea here on the left. And the center step, again, 5 cards, 5 envelopes. And it's got this unique stepping design on the right and the left. And the patterns are on the back that show you how to cut those papers out and layer them on there. And this is what it looks like. So there's that step on the right and left, and when you stand it up, it's a very unique design.
And here is one finished card. And in this case, Anne has used the gold pearl feather dazzles and along with the fancy feather papers, and just have that long one just extending around that center.
Right, but it's darker within the dazzles here and here, and that's because she colored inside of those areas with a Spectrum Noir pen. She wanted to point out you want to try to keep away from the edges of the dazzle when you're doing this because it will take on the color of the pen.
Right, you can color the dazzles with the Spectrum Noir pens.
Yeah, so you have to, if you don't want to color the dazzle.
Be careful.
Be careful.
And this is some ribbon down here with the dazzles on it as well as at the top. And you can see how...
I love how the dazzles are halfway on and halfway up that ribbon.
Yeah, kind of holds it in place. Yeah. More of the coloring in, as you were talking about. And she's done the same paper on each side, and then one paper, of course, in the center.
On the front, and that's one of the border pieces. Just
right.
Beautiful.
And then on the inside, she elected to go this way. So 2 different papers, more of the feather dazzles.
Right. I like that extra strip up at the top. It differentiates these 2 pieces. But also she made a line with just an edge of that feathers dazzle sheet. She just cut a strip and just laid it along there.
So use every little piece of it. So again, simple to do. Having the patterns really helps. And let's take another look. Now this one, we've seen the Rhapsody die cuts, but this is the Rhapsody paper toll in this case. And so very large images.
Right.
And in fact, I think you can see it as I wiggle this. She's
done
played.
Something. Yeah, she's done something with those die cuts. First, she started on the back to the 2 largest pieces. This one and this piece here, she covered them, she embossed them with clear embossing powder. So Versamark all over the die cut, dust them with paper toll, excuse me, on the paper toll, then dusted them with embossing powder and heat set. Right. And with these, she did the same thing except that she used kaleidoscope embossing powder.
And that's exactly what kaleidoscope does. It's white in the bottle, so it's kind of deceiving, but that's what it does. It just creates such a wonderful, wonderful
look. Like a
kaleidoscope
sort of a look. I mean, obviously, it's just beautiful. And then I love how she embossed with red zing down here.
Right. So all that stamping and Versamarking. And as we back up, I want to go into the inside. And one thing it might be good to show you here is that these pieces do not go into the fold. Right. They just go on each side.
Right. So there's no need to put any paper on the backs of those. You're not going to see them.
And then on the inside, she has used more of the papers.
More of the papers and the paper toll, just one piece with that zing being embossed on there. I'm looking at this card and I'm thinking, what's great about this, you're going to spend a little bit of time doing the embossing on these pieces, but everything else was so simple because it's already cut out, the patterns are there for you, so throw it together and then just spend your time working on embellishments.
In fact, I think on several of these she said it's like a 15-minute card. Or,
right.
Yeah,
some of
very
them were
quick.
Less than that.
Now, this is the card that you saw on the package, and we do have a confession. This is the chalkboard dazzles. They're on order. They won't be here until the end of July. We sold out of the first shipment.
Well, people liked them a lot.
And they're really wonderful, but we really wanted to show you this card because we just thought it was a nice, fun look to see. Right. And you can see it on the front, so it's using the chalkboard papers.
Right, and it's just, this piece has been cut out separately and set up foam taped, so you can get a little bit of dimension.
A little bit of sanding on the edge, and then on the inside, another one, celebrate the little things.
And this piece, the paper is just running along here. It's not on that upper portion.
Right, little bit of ribbon, and you're good to go. Now we have one more. We told you there were 6. So the very last one is the shutter.
It is the shutter, and here it is with that idea on the left, which actually you're going to be seeing, and those patterns on the back. So go ahead and here's that great pattern layout. Just shows you where all of those pieces go that you're going to
see. The ones that are brown, right, are brown.
So here is the actual shutter, and you can open it up this way. You can turn it and do it some other ways too. I mean, you can turn it this way and
I guess you could
open it that way.
My son of a gun. I
So
don't think
there
we
you
did
go.
that, but good for you. Well, here is Anne's first one, and it's just so pretty. Now, she has used the Mirage, and this time the foil paper towel, and you can see that it is going off the that opening.
Right, and she did that for a very specific reason. She's got some stamping that she did back
Right.
there, and she wanted to hide that.
And there you are.
And what a unique way to do stamping. Look at that. She's got just 3 different sentiments just sort of
Right.
stamped out at angles. It's very cute.
And this is out of the Heart to Heart set. So that's why the messages, you are amazing, you are one of a kind, you are my forever.
I love you. All that's
Right.
been stamped right on the, and I'm sure that was using probably stays on
I
or
would think.
surfaces because these are foil, these paper towel.
Now, this is the paper towel as it's designed to be the layered, but we have a border right here with just one layer and then pieces of that extra art up there.
Isn't that great? So these flowers have been cut in half just to
Right.
edge like a border. That's
And one
wonderful.
right here. And then look how the papers are. So, yeah, she's used the same paper here, the same here, and then a different one.
Okay, so that these 4 are the same. It's like boxing around that centerpiece. What a neat idea.
Yeah, very nice. And really kind of and really with all of these, it's just a fun surprise. They're just
Sure.
something extra.
You'll notice that the ribbon goes around the edge and behind the paper here. So you can cut it off flush, but if you have a ribbon that frays a lot, it's better to tuck it behind the paper, and it looks to me like that's what she's done.
I like how she's overlapped the ribbons and just tied a simple knot there.
Right.
So that's one. We have another
Okay.
that Anne has done. And
Right.
isn't that fun? This is with the honeysuckle. So that's
Artful
the
card kit.
right.
And so that contains the papers and the die cuts that you're seeing.
This is the burlap butterfly, which we're just really happy to have the butterflies and the flowers from Petaloo.
And I love how this is really going over that cutout
Yes.
opening, that it's really hiding what's on the inside.
And on the inside is bright and fun. Now look what she's done with the papers this time. This whole panel
Right.
is one color. This is another. And then she's alternated in the center.
Right, and I think the reason the pink is here is because of that large
Yeah.
pink label there. It just sort of picks that up. Also, Anne pointed out that this die cut actually has the scroll work on both sides. She had to cut off this edge to make it fit right at that fold there.
Right, and one burlap flower there. So 1, 2, 3 burlap flowers. And what I like is you're looking at this in fun and pretty, sweet words. And then when you open up, it's that pop of yellow that's just right at you.
Sure.
Very
I
fun.
love how layered it is. There's all of just one layer after another of all these little changes and more things for your eyes to look at.
Very fun. Now the last one is this, and it has a very vintage. It's from,
Stolen Moments.
very good, thank you.
There's a Stolen Moment die cut, so there's this nice little collage collection
Right.
of die cuts here, even in the corners, little corner elements.
And again, that's sticking out and it's hiding what's going on the inside.
Another little collection here, and they've been stamped on, the die cuts. And
And in
sweet.
this case, all 3 panels are the same paper with only the center section being the different,
a different
one.
colored
Right.
paper, right? So there's lots of different ways to use papers with these die cut cards. You can just
Right.
use your imagination.
So 6 card shapes, 19 cards we've just walked through.
Right.
And I bet you're going to find some fun with this. Now be sure to join us tomorrow for
We'll
day
see
3.
you tomorrow.
Yes.